clearly over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about, Gremlins, Gremlins 2. In those conversations, I know I've talked about how I rented those movies quite a bit growing up.
Yeah, on something, by the way, for our younger audience called a VHS.
And then after that, it was on a DVD.
Yeah, but VHSs cause cancer.
Yeah.
Everything that's old causes cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full of asbestos and...
Yeah, don't eat the beef tallow fries from Steak and Shake.
No.
Why? Cancer.
Yeah. But yeah, I would obviously rent those a bunch. I mentioned I rented the Tremors movies a lot, the Alien films a lot. I really liked creature features growing up.
You seem to like a monster movie.
I do.
Yeah.
What's interesting is I didn't see a lot of the Universal monster movies until way later.
Universal monster movies are almost monster just because of the branding. Because Dracula's more a guy. Invisible Man is definitely a guy. But when I think of a monster movie, I think of The Blob or something like The Thing, something like that.
Yeah. But I really, I liked those movies. And I think a lot of it growing up was a lot of those came out in the 90s and early aughts, and they were PG-13. So I could get away with watching them pretty easily.
Sure.
Your Lake Placids, about a giant alligator, or your Deep Blue Sea about, giant kind of super intelligent sharks.
That's the one with Sam L, right?
Yeah. Jaws, obviously.
Not with Sam L.
No.
Richard Dreyfuss is the Samuel L. Jackson of Jaws.
For sure. But there was a ton in the the late 90s, early aughts like that, because you had, there was a movie called Komodo, because I feel like Komodo dragons, when we were growing up, became a new thing that they zoos in the area started having them.
Well, there was a period, and I don't think Busch Gardens has one anymore. In fact, I think Busch Gardens surrendered theirs to Zoo Tampa. There was a period where I believe both of them had just Komodo dragons.
Yeah.
My high school had one. But well, I had one in the sense of there was one in there.
Yeah,
it got loose. Yeah, that's what that movie is based on.
But then you had your giant snake movies, Python, which I was not allowed to see,
right?
Because that one, that one, my dad let me rent it, and then we put it on together, and then we got to the first nude scene, and he was like, you can't watch this.
He's
sorry.
No, sorry, man. He took the cassette out and he went upstairs.
Yeah, pretty much. But the PG-13 version of that then that I could watch was Anaconda.
Right.
So the original Anaconda from 97 with J-Lo and Ice Cube and Owen Wilson, I believe, is in it, and unfortunately John Voight. But I love that movie. It's ridiculous, and but I don't know, in all the best ways of those sorts of creature feature films.
This may come as a surprise to you, and it won't at all, because that's what we are. But I've never seen that movie.
What? You've never seen Anaconda?
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Yeah, I've never seen. You have no idea how many sequels there are to that movie.
Yeah.
There's probably 7 or 8 of them.
Weird.
They go on forever, but they became instead of being a big practical snake, in the original for the majority of it, it all became cheap CG.
Okay. They skip right past puppets.
Yeah. They look awful. From the little bit that I've seen of them, but this last year, 2025, we got a new meta reboot of that franchise.
Yeah, it's Jack Black, Paul Rudd. I've
Correct.
only seen anything about that because I like both of those guys. So to see them in marketing together has been nice.
Oh yeah, seeing those two play together is great. Well, I watched it over the last weekend.
See, I didn't think you had because I was positive there would be a popcorn bucket.
I didn't, but I looked at it. Believe me.
Yeah.
But I did not purchase the Anaconda popcorn bucket yet.
Thank God. Please don't.
It's a weird meta reboot where they are making a. What's interesting? Did you ever see the Jack Black movie Be Kind, Rewind?
No.
It's he and Mos Def they run a video rental store.
Okay.
And there's an accident that happens where all of the tapes are demagnetized, and so they all get wiped.
Okay.
And so then they come up with the idea of we should just take all the tapes, record our own version of them so that we can continue to rent the tapes to people. And so, and they come up with the term of sweeting movies.
Okay.
This is almost a version of that, where it's like Paul Rudd and Jack Black play two friends who are like, we always wanted to make movies and we never got to. And Paul Rudd's like, I got the rights to Anaconda. Let's make an Anaconda reboot.
Do they play themselves?
No.
But like close?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, yeah. It's fine.
Okay.
If you like the franchise, if you like those guys, it's funny. It's not something that I really need to watch again.
Okay.
But the meta-ness of it all is you see a lot of posters and they reference a lot of different films and things like that. But never in a million years would I have guessed that within the same week that we would be having this conversation, in the middle of this movie, Jack Black's character is typing the script to something, working on something on his computer, and in the background of his studio, giant in the center of the screen, is the poster for Dario Argento's Inferno.
What the fuck? Hey man, don't worry. They already shot the terrible mouthing. The Italian actors have already mouthed all these words, so we just have to say it like we normally would. So,
Okay.
So welcome to the Third Channel podcast,
where we delve into the horror franchises you love from the perspectives of a lifelong horror fan.
and a newbie to the genre. Me amo PJ,
And I'm Derek.
and today the only thing we're here to talk about is horror. This week's horror is Dario Argento's Inferno.
Yeah, I feel like we probably failed to mention that in the last couple weeks of this is where we were going for the palate cleanse next.
Yeah. And this is like the kind of, this is a palate cleanse in the sense that people say wasabi is a palate cleanse.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a lot.
This is probably the hardest departure we have made between franchises.
Yeah. The other point that I want to make here is that this is a unique episode insofar that you watched this film throughout the week. And the last time you watched it, it was playing in the house and I was there, but I didn't watch it because Dylan and I were beating the campaign for Baldur's Gate 3.
Right.
So my attention was drawn away. Now, every so often I would look over and I would see some fucking crazy stuff happening. And in my mind, I thought, oh, well, this will make sense when I sit down and watch the whole movie, which I did today. It did not make any sense.
Oh.
We did not watch this movie together. We have not talked a word to each other about this movie yet. So we don't know we don't really have a good grasp on each other's takes on this movie. But before we get there, a tad bit of housekeeping.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw it over to you, Derek.
Okay. This is to correct our issue of not mentioning this movie or that you needed to watch it before this week.
Right.
I think it's available on streaming in a couple places right now. Obviously, that changes from time to time. We watch this on a Blu-ray that I have from Blue Underground.
Let's just say it's on Tubi, right?
Yeah,
it probably is.
Yeah, it probably is.
If not, sign up anyway. It's free.
So to fix that for next week, the next film and the next film franchise that we will be covering,
one of my, if not my favorite, one of my personal favorites,
Candyman.
God bless it.
So we'll have 4 films in that one, I believe, and hopefully we'll have a guest. We're not going to make any promises,
but maybe.
And I bring that up mainly to say, PJ, you may not remember saying this, but you realize you're going to have to wear a suit next week, right?
I don't have any context to what you're saying. 99% of the things I say delete from my memory as soon as I said them. Yeah. Why am I wearing a suit?
Well, because I believe it was in our episode 0.
Okay.
We were discussing the 4 slasher icons that we would put on our slasher Mount Rushmore. And you put Candyman up there, of course.
Yeah, makes sense.
And you said, you know what? Whenever we cover that franchise, whenever we cover that film, I think it is important enough, and I'm going to give it the attention that it deserves. I'm going to do that one wearing a suit.
Okay.
So.
I will stand by that. I think that not only with the unfortunate mortal coiled departure of Tony Todd, Sir Tony Todd, knighted by no one but us, but in his passing, and then also how monumental that movie has been for me.
Yeah.
That movie was we'll get into that next week. The movie's very good. So yeah, I'll wear a suit.
Yeah.
But I won't wear pants.
Well,
because all that's going to happen is you're going to take a couple pictures to prove that I did, but they won't be able to see down, below my waist.
Yeah. There's no reason to.
I'll wear swim trunks and I'll be in a pool, like a kiddie pool.
Okay.
Dangerous with all this equipment.
It truly is.
Yeah. That Mount Rushmore comment is funny because so we have fans, a handful of them. Our biggest fan, arguably, is my sister, our fact checker, Caroline.
Yeah.
She gave me the most thoughtful and wonderful gift. She bought from a convention, somebody had 3D printed a Mount Rushmore, like a sculpt 3D printed of Mount Rushmore. And it was in red letters across the front of it. It says Mount Slashmore.
Nice.
And it has what we kind of came up with was the definitive slasher Mount Rushmore, which is Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Leatherface. And they're all there in this wonderful thing that I've now got in front of my Michael masks and my Freddy glove and all this paraphernalia.
It's very cool.
Yeah, paraphernalia. Yeah, I smoke weed out of the Michael masks. I have. Let me tell you, it's wild. Until you cough in it. It was an incredible gift. It's that sort of like, you know what? Yeah, that's the kind of engagement we want, folks. We want you to listen to us talk about stuff either that we like or that we want. And we want you to buy them and send them to us.
Yes.
That
would be awesome.
And for the record, we want a house.
Yeah.
The big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we could get the Myers house, that would be the best.
Oh, shit. That's a soundstage, brother. Speaking of Christmas, my figure shelf for horror figures got a little bit heavier this year.
A little more full.
Alistair, my brother, got me a figure of Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
And it's a fascinating figure because he is bolted and tied down to a fucking like a patient. It's less like a stretcher, more like a dolly, like the thing they dolly him into the airport in.
Right.
But he has swappable heads and the mask and whatnot. And then you, my co-host, got me the deluxe version of John Carver, the murderer from the Eli Roth film Thanksgiving, which is fantastic. And he comes with a bunch of stuff. He even comes with it's like a little cell phone that's live streaming, and there's a bunch of comments, and it's on the little tripod. He comes with the wine thing, the wine uncorker that he uses in the neck of that woman.
Yeah, it's like the whole dinner scene.
Yeah.
Everything that he uses or could use is there.
Stellar. I love it so very much. But yeah, it was a good Christmas for a horror fan. I got a lot of spooky stuff.
You got me something that you had to special order from what I understand.
Yeah, I had it made.
Yeah. And it is I'm surprised I've never come across it myself because I do have some weird collectibles from the thing.
Sure.
Because obviously, as we have raved about for hours and hours and hours, John Carpenter's The Thing is like my favorite movie.
It's like
ever.
Almost 6 collective hours. Yeah.
And so you got me from one of the most famous scenes, obviously a scene that I think anyone who loves that movie loves this scene, is the blood test. You got me. Someone out there makes replica versions of the Petri dishes with blood samples in them labeled with the characters' names. And so I have a McCready, a Childs, and a Palmer. I
was originally going to do Blair because I thought Blair would be very funny.
Right.
But this is the scene where Palmer's blood freaks out.
Exactly. And we never technically get to see the Blair, because they go out and then he's not in there.
Yeah. He wants to come inside though.
Oh yeah. This was the right choice.
I'm glad.
Sure.
Yeah. Let us know if you guys got any spooky stuff for yourselves or like partners, husbands, wives, whatever. If you got a spooky thing for your dog, maybe you got a dog. Like the thing, and you got your thing dog. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, let us know if you got cool Christmas stuff. We have an Instagram. We have all the places, Blue Sky, the other one that's bad. They're all bad.
The other one that's bad. The other one that's bad.
Yeah, all the bad ones. The world is bad now, but feel free to share some good and some positivity. Let us know if you got anything cool.
Yeah.
I guess that leaves us talking about this now. Okay. I have to I feel like I need to get up and do jumping jacks to brace for this.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull the Band-Aid off immediately because I have not talked to you about this. I refuse to talk to you about this. My first note, my very final note that I have pulled up that I took for this movie is, of all the movies that we have discussed, this is my least favorite.
Yes.
I hate this movie.
Okay.
And it's the kind of hate that you have when you know what it's like. Have a group of friends. It's a big group of friends, and that group of friends nebulously knows somebody else, and they talk about them all the time. Oh, you're gonna love this person. You're gonna love this person, and you finally meet them, and they are horrible, just an abysmal. And that's usually me, by the way. I usually slot in that role, but it's just an abysmal prick. You're like, God, I fucking hate that guy. How come everyone likes it? And it's like, why on earth was I so excited to see this? And it's just because it's Dario Argento.
Yeah.
And Suspiria is honestly an all-timer for me.
Yeah, it's like a masterpiece.
And so I was so excited going in, and it starts off weird, but then it's too weird, too fast. And there's a kind of storytelling that I don't like. And there are certain things that you and especially Belle, the two of you love. She has a love of this show. We talked about it on here before, this show From, and you guys both love Lost. And those shows do this thing that I can't stand, which is I like shows like Stranger Things in that, and I haven't seen the newest season, but insofar that in Stranger Things, it asks a couple questions and it answers those questions throughout the season. How is this happening? Who is causing it to happen? And who is it happening to? And slowly throughout the season, you get those answers. What I don't like is in From or Lost when it asks 30 questions, and every season it asks that 30 questions, but it answers to a season, because then you have 1,000 threads, half of which you never find out because the writer gives up and doesn't care. And the whole movie, this entire movie, is 1,000 questions. And I may be dumb, but I'm pretty sure it's like half an answer.
Yeah.
Like there is no story. There is no, every single time it was a kill or like a suspenseful moment. It's like, this is so well done. It's so well crafted. The suspense, the way that we follow the person, sometimes it gets too meandering, but I think it's to pad out the time. But it gets to the point where you're like, this is so fucking incredible. Why the fuck is it happening?
Yeah.
And that's the whole movie is, what is this? What's happening? It's pretty, but it's stupid. I don't understand. I watched the version. I don't know if you did too, but I watched the version with his opening.
Yeah, with his little intro. Yeah.
With Dario sitting in front of the camera, and he's like, this is the most difficult movie I ever made. This is the most, and he's like, this is the most like bare facing movie I've ever made. And it's like, about what? What did you make this movie about? I can't wait to talk about it.
This is going to be an interesting
fucking crazy. But
I'm gonna call it now. I'm gonna point at the stands like Baby Ruthie himself.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, this is probably gonna be our least listened to episode.
Big time. Like this will have 1% of Halloween.
Yes. Which, speaking of Halloween, as of right now, I believe just crossed the 100 downloads.
Hey, thanks guys.
But yeah, this I just have this feeling.
Oh, big time.
Like Suspiria was already a weird departure when we did that one, but I think it at least is well known enough in the horror community.
Not to mention, we ran around and told everybody, like, no, listen to this one. That like, go see this movie. It's great.
Yes, this doesn't have the same anything.
No, this has nothing. It's basically like if Suspiria is watching somebody chew gum and then blow a really big bubble, Inferno is the empty space in that bubble. Because sometimes you look at it and you're like, oh, this is very Suspiria.
Mm-hmm.
And then the camera turns a corner and there's like another row of books, or like a character will leave one setting and go somewhere totally unrecognizable. Yes. And you're like, oh, well, this isn't like Suspiria at all. Oh, no, this is not Suspiria. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Inferno. Come face to face with hell. A young man returns from Rome to his sister's satanic New York apartment house. That's the whole summary.
That's all you need.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that summarizes it? Because I honestly do not know. Because a big point of it is like, I don't know where the fucking movie takes place.
It takes place in New York and it takes place in Rome.
Because like they don't do a good job of telling you when and where they swap back and forth. At one point it's like New York later that same day, but it's like, what day?
Yeah, it's they give you about 3 of those because we start in New York, we go to Rome, and then we're in New York for the rest of it, I believe.
Yeah. What was the first time that you saw this movie?
Okay, so I do have that because I can look back on Letterboxd. I watched this for the first time during my it was during October of 2018.
Okay.
Because I watched it during my like 31 days of horror, thing.
Right.
And that was the year that I typically try and pick some different loose theme of like, you know what? I've never watched a lot of these types of movies.
Okay.
And then I try like this last year I watched the grand majority of the Ring or Ringu Japanese horror films. I watched about 4 or 5 of those.
Okay. So 2018 was like a super Italian.
Yes, yeah. It was like, okay, I've seen Suspiria, but let's rewatch Suspiria and then let's watch some other Dario Argento stuff. So I went with Inferno, I went with Tenebrae, and I don't disagree with the points that you've already made.
Right.
But I do like this movie. I obviously like it more than you. But I don't love this movie by any stretch of the imagination. Let me put it out there.
Yeah. Speaking of Letterboxd, I gave this movie. I never do this anymore, and it's bad because our outro plugs my Letterboxd, and I never update it. I got to go through and do a mass update. But I gave it a star, and I wrote, "No amount of amazing Argento lighting and suspense can make up for the utter frustration I felt while watching this movie." Because it's frustrating.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you feel that the first time, or were you like kind of bought in?
I think I don't know if it was because I immediately followed it like from Suspiria into it, and just knowing the little bit that I did of like, this is the well, let me get that out of the way. This is like a spiritual sequel. This is it kind of in the same way that The Thing, Prince of Darkness, and In the Mouth of Madness is an Apocalypse trilogy. This is part of the Three Mothers trilogy. So while they don't directly reference like the things that happened in Suspiria or those characters, it is technically in the same universe.
Okay.
And so like just knowing that, I bought into it a bit more.
Okay.
But yeah, it's watching it this time, it was like, what is happening?
Yeah, dude. Last night in as we said, I was busy doing something with Dylan, but I would look over every so often, and the look of bewildered anger on your face, and you're like typing, and you're looking up and typing and looking up and typing. I was like, this feels like it's going to be a lot, because if it gets that reaction out of you, I know what it's going to get out of me. I had to take smoke breaks for this movie, dude. I had to clock out because this is the first time I've ever seen it.
This is a true newbie experience for you.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was about. The only thing I knew is that it was Dario Argento. That's it. The title led me to believe that it would be something similar to Dante's Inferno. And so that's kind of what I was expecting. So then it's like New York, Rome, 1970. It's like, oh, fuck. There's going to be a bunch of fucking Italian actors doing a terrible lip sync as they walk around in 70s suits, and they do weird shit in weird places. And I was right. But the problem is that Suspiria tells a pretty good story. And this tells me that I need a different hobby, is what this has told. because I did not like this experience. There was a period of time where I was sitting on the couch. I'm in this house alone, and I'm watching the movie, and I'm not going to get into the scene, but it's the rat scene. And I am screaming at the TV. What does this mean?
Right.
Because it means nothing.
And then the hot dog vendor shows up.
And he's the hero of the story. Okay. And this is going to make no sense until we get to the discussion, but just you and I, this is like a little joke on the audience right now that hate this episode already. Yeah. Do you or do you not agree that the hot dog man is the true hero of that situation?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. He comes in and he rectifies the situation.
Yes.
He's like, this is bad. Now it's over. And he turns that guy into hot dogs.
Oh.
He's like the pizza papa. He's the hot dog hottie.
Oh my God. Okay. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Inferno was released February 8th of 1980.
I don't like that it's in my birthday month, but that's fine.
There it is. It is directed by Dario Argento. It's also written by Dario Argento. It's produced by Claudio Argento. The cinematography is done by Romano Albani, who had done the 82 slasher flick Blood Link. He had shot Phenomena, which is an 85 Italian, like a supernatural horror film that stars Jennifer Connelly and Donald Pleasance. He was the cinematographer on Troll in 1986, Terror Vision also in 86, and then he did a couple other things, Obsession, A Taste of Fear, and The Dragon Ring, a fantasy film from 95. It's edited by Franco Fraticelli, who also edited Bird with the Crystal Plumage, Cat O' Tails, Deep Red, I believe Suspiria, Tenebrae, Phenomena, Opera, and then was the supervising editor on Demone.
Okay.
Demons too, which were both produced by Dario Argento. The budget for this film was $3 million, which just to go back, the budget for Suspiria, I believe, was $4 million. And then if you remember, the box office for both these movies is a little weird because it's like we're talking in Italian money versus like what that would be in American money. So the box office for this is like 1.33 Italian lire.
Okay.
Which is lira. Lira. Yeah. Thank you. Which is around 1.6 million at the time American.
Okay.
And then Suspiria had then brought in 1.43 billion lira. What did you say? Lira.
And again, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I am not Italian.
Right. Director and writer Dario Argento had also done The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, The Cat of Nine Tails, Four Flies on Gray Velvet, Deep Red, Suspiria, Tenebrae, Phenomena, Opera, and Mother of Tears in 2007. The producer, Claudio Argento, is the younger brother of Dario, and he produced pretty much all of his films, Deep Red, Inferno, Tenebrae, Mother of Tears, Suspiria.
And good news, they're both still alive.
Oh,
they're fine.
Okay.
Well, they're old, but they're fine.
Right.
Yeah.
He was also the associate producer on George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead, because there's a whole Italian tie-in with that. Mm-hmm. And then the music is done by Keith Emerson, who had done the music for Nighthawks, an 81 thriller, an Italian slasher movie called Murder Rock, Dancing Death, an Italian horror film from 89 called The Church. And then strangely, he did the music under a different name for Godzilla Final Wars in 2004.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool, but it's also weird.
Very weird.
Music in this is great and used terribly.
Yes.
Like all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 1977, Suspiria had been an unexpected box office hit for 20th Century Fox, who distributed it. So wanting to capitalize on that commercial success, Dario Argento and Daria Nicolodi, who had co-written the screenplay of Suspiria, announced that it was only the first part of a proposed trilogy, which they referred to as the Three Mothers. The basic concept of all three films is derived from Thomas de Quincey's Suspiria de Profundis, which was written in like 1845. There's a prose poem in the book entitled Lavana and Our Ladies of Sorrow, which details how Just as there's the idea of the three muses, the three graces, the three fates, the three furies, there are also three sorrows. And those are known as Mater Lacrimarum, which is the Lady of Tears, Mater Suspiriorum, the Lady of Sighs, and Mater Tenebrarum, which is the Lady of Darkness. Suspiria focused on Mater Suspiriorum, obviously, and then the evil sister featured in Inferno is Mater Tenebrarum. And then what we will eventually get to is the long-delayed kind of third concluding entry in this trilogy called The Mother of Tears, which was eventually released in 2007. We'll more than likely cover that in next year sometime.
Oh, that's made it to next year. I thought that was going to be like a 2050 kind of thing.
I want to kind of cap this trilogy.
Well, you can still get like clean drinking water and electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So when Argento proposed Inferno as his follow-up to Suspiria, 20th Century Fox agreed to co-finance the production. The film was budgeted at $3 million in the United States, and then producer Claudio Argento secured additional co-production money from like Italy and Germany. So Daria Nicolodi devised the original story concept, but received no on-screen credit for her work on this screenplay. So the only credited writer on this is Dario Argento.
Weird.
Nicolodi explained that she did not seek any credit because, quote, having fought so hard to see my humble but excellent work in Suspiria recognized, I didn't want to live through that again. Basically, because she and Dario wrote Suspiria. But then up until like a few days before the premiere of that movie, she wasn't even sure that her name would show up in the credits.
That's disappointing.
The way that, I don't know, all of that worked. And so she said, again, quote, do as you please. In any case, the story will talk for me because I wrote it. And then working from her original story notes, Argento wrote the screenplay while staying in New York in a hotel room with a view of Central Park, which is why, you know, a lot of it is set around that area. The filming took place mainly on interior sets in Rome.
Even their outside is clearly inside.
They did a short amount of time. They did some location shooting in New York, including Central Park, particularly the death of the character that we were speaking of. That was filmed in Central Park during the summer of 1979. Now, the reason he says in that little like introduction to the movie that this was like the hardest movie he's ever had to work on is during the film's production, Argento became stricken with a severe case of hepatitis, and he had to direct some sequences while lying on his back. It became so painful that he was hospitalized, and so filming was then restricted to second unit work. And some of that was actually done by Mario Bava. So yeah, he's called it one of his least favorite of all of his films, as the memories of making it are tainted by his recollection of the pain he was in at the time.
That's very sad, and also a very different reason from why this is one of my least favorite of his movies. I was perfectly fine watching it. I was comfortable. I was sitting upright.
Oh,
not in a hospital.
That's good.
And you know what I said? I said, yuck. That's how I felt. I was like, I'd rather have hepatitis.
Mario Bava, he was the director of Black Sabbath in 63, Blood and Black Lace in 64, A Bay of Blood from 71. He actually performed a number of uncredited roles on this film, including camera operator, lighting tech, visual effects artist, second unit director, and then he acted as full-time director for certain performances whenever he was hospitalized.
So Mario Bava, one of the most accomplished Italian horror makers in the world, was just chilling.
Well, he was asked to. So he was originally invited to do some of the optical effects. including matte paintings and trick shots for the movie.
So there are matte paintings in this. Okay.
Some of the cityscape views were actually apparently tabletop skyscrapers built by Bava out of like milk cartons and then covered with photographs.
That's neat.
And then some shots that they had, whenever they were in New York, they got shots of like the cityscapes. And then sometimes those would be superimposed in the backgrounds of shots.
Yeah. There's also one shot where they like somebody goes down into this place and they look up and the ceiling is like this crazy thing. And I'm pretty sure that's a matte painting too.
Could be.
You ever see those like AI images where AI makes, and I'm doing air quotes, like a room, but you can't make any one thing out because it's super confusing and like hurts. Yeah, that's what several moments in this movie. I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at? And I strain. Yeah.
Yeah. There's quite a bit of that. The apartment building that Rose lived in is only a partial set built in a studio. It's just a few floors high and then was kind of visually augmented with a small sculpture that Mario Bava constructed. And then they set that aflame toward the end of production to serve as the burning building of the climax.
Okay. The most interesting part of the movie.
Truly.
Nope. We'll save that. Don't worry, folks. We'll get to my question, I'm sure.
Mario Bava also provided some of the second unit direction for the production. Film critic Maitland McDonough has suggested that Bava had his hand in the like watery ballroom scene toward the beginning of the film, but that sequence was shot by a cinematographer named Gian Lorenzo Battaglia in a water tank. He's later the cinematographer for Demone and Demone 2.
Okay. So the water part wasn't Jim Cameron?
No,
that's interesting.
But that's where he was most influenced.
Yeah, to make Piranha too.
Yeah. And then Mario Bava's son, Lamberto Bava, was the film's assistant director. And then Lamberto Bava is who later directed Demone and Demone 2.
Understood.
So
okay.
It's all in the family here. Mario Bava, I will say, sadly passed away shortly before the release of this film. So he didn't even get to see all of his hard work on it.
Now that is sad. And I won't continue. Everyone knows what I was going to say, so I don't need to say it.
Dario Argento chose the progressive rocker Keith Emerson to compose the soundtrack for this film. He wanted a different sort of score from the Italian prog group Goblin of Suspiria, a more delicate one, as he put it. Emerson's music was met with a mixed response from critics. Some obviously compared it unfavorably to Goblin's score from Suspiria. Time Out's Scott Meek, writer for them, I guess, noted that Argento's own over-the-top score for Suspiria has been replaced by religioso thunderings from the keyboards of Keith Emerson, which I get, it's tough to put it up against.
It's very different.
Yes.
I wouldn't criticize the music in this. I think the music fits this just fine. Yeah. I criticize the placement of it in the pacing and in the storytelling. Its volume, the composure of it, and what pieces were used during what scene. I blame that more on the editor. And obviously Dario Argento had a very weird vision for this movie.
Yeah.
But I think the music's fine, and I think it's very different.
Yes, very, very different. And then finally, Inferno was distributed in Italy by 20th Century Fox. And then for reasons that were never really specified, Fox did not commit to a wide theatrical release of Inferno in the US. Argento has speculated that decision was made due to an abrupt change in management at that studio that left Inferno and several dozen other films in limbo as a result of they had been greenlit by the people who worked there before.
And it's made and it's ready. Yeah.
What does that sound like?
Several things. What do you have in mind?
HBO.
Oh, yeah. And this is a total departure, and I'm sorry, but the fact that you can no longer find Westworld anywhere.
You could purchase it is the only way.
But I don't want to do that.
I know.
I live in a world of streaming, baby. I can stream snuff films straight from Tubi. No, that's going to get us in trouble with that. Tubi doesn't have snuff films.
No, Tubi should have Westworld.
Tubi doesn't have snuff films, but Tubi has everything else that you need with limited ads and a free sign up. Sign up for Tubi today. Tubi, listen to that. You could have the voice of an angel. Derek Rosenberg, not mine. My voice is terrible. Your voice is great.
I didn't say that.
I did.
But I do love you, Tubi. if you're listening.
For just a second, I thought you were going to say I do love you, but I thought it was to me. I swelled for a moment and then I was immediately deflated.
Oh, I do. Oh, I believe. But then eventually August 15th of 1986, so 6 years later, it finally had a U.S. theatrical release by Fox, but it only played for 1 week at a New York City theater called, I don't know if it's Thalia Soho Theater, and it was done as a part of a double feature with The Shining, also from 1980. So worldwide, the film only had a very abbreviated and minimal theatrical release. And so Argento says that, I think anybody outside of Italy was lucky to have seen Inferno. And obviously that is why it was not a commercial success.
But it fucking sucks because you spent the time and the effort to dub the entire thing into English.
Yeah.
If it was going to be a purely Italian release, they probably would have just done it fucking Italian.
Yeah.
What I will say is a double screening of The Shining and then Inferno. If you're about the midway point of The Shining and you eat a mushroom, like a happy mushroom, and then you digest that, the rest of your experience would be crazy. Unless it was like a big portobello mushroom and you just go to town on it. And people are like, dude, this guy's eating mushrooms. He brought that in a Publix, a little plastic wrap container.
It's not allowed in here.
You can't leave. Your journey has come to an end. Everything around you will become dark, and someone will take your hand. You'll be pleased, not unhappy. You'll enjoy moments of incredible brightness. You think it's magic? No. I'm not a magician. Now we have to hurry because we still have to pass through a number of strange phases and you'll change. You were looking for me, just like your sister. This is what you wanted. I'm coming to get you.
Tell me who you are!
The three mothers. Haven't you understood? Mater tenebrarum, Mater lacrimarum, Mater suspiriorum. But men call us by a single name, a name which strikes fear into everyone's heart. They call us death! Death!
She says, you've been looking for us. The same thing that your sister has been looking for, that you're looking for too.
Mm-hmm.
He was not looking for any of this. This was not his quest. He doesn't have a map. He doesn't have trinkets. He is literally trying to find his sister in a dirty old hotel. And she's like, you've been looking for me. I just wanted to be like, no, who the fuck are you? And she's like, I'm no magician. And he's like, well, you just did a bunch of fire magic tricks, so the fuck you're not.
Yeah, you disappeared, you reappeared.
Let me explain something. PJ, I know a magician when I fucking see one. That bitch, doesn't matter how spooky of a skeleton she becomes. That's a goddamn magician. The first question that we're asked, and that's what I'm going to I'm going to hope to do. I'll lose track of this and this will go away very quickly. But the first question that we're asked is, what is the significance of the three mothers? Because it's like a voiceover that explains that the world of darkness is governed by three mothers. And that's kind of what the clip just said of there's three of them and together they represent darkness and evil and death.
Yeah.
And
Sorrow, tears, darkness.
But apparently they are geographical. So you've got the Italian one. Right, you get the Italian one, but then you got the New York one,
right?
The one that's Italian New Yorker. Apparently, these ancient deities live in a brownstone on the east side in a hotel built by a man with one of those throat cigarette machines. Yeah, but his is crazy.
Yeah,
and now I don't remember where the third one is. Spain,
in Germany.
Oh yeah, because
Freeburg.
Suspiria.
Yeah. We start in New York in April with Rose Elliott, who is a poet. She is played by Irene Miracle.
That is Rose then in the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I guess looks so different later on because she's not soaking wet.
Right.
But it is I didn't know who it was. I was like, who is this?
That's who we start with.
Okay. So she is actively searching.
Irene Miracle was in Night Train Murders in 75. She was in Midnight Express in 78. Later, she's in Puppet Master in 89 and Watchers 2 in 1990. Rose Elliott, like I said, is a poet. She's living alone in New York. And she has this ancient book called The Three Mothers.
Fuck, that's not even true. It's not an ancient book. Apparently, everyone has a copy.
Yeah, there's like 3 of them on a shelf later.
Which, and I have a point to make about that, because it kind of seems like anybody who is seen with that book at any point, anybody who's pouring through the book is whom whatever the fuck is happening in this movie seems to target. But you can buy that book at a fucking Target, apparently. It's everywhere.
It's a bestseller.
Yeah.
It's on Oprah's list. It's on Obama's list at the end of his year. Man, it's great. It's popular.
Dude, Obama. Fucking thanks, Obama. You did Inferno, I guess. But she goes to an antique store with my favorite character in this whole movie is, what is it? Kazanian?
Kazanian.
Mr. Kazanian, who is obviously evil. His hair is pulled back. He looks like a fucking ghoul. He looks like the face that you would see in in your bathroom. Oh shit, Candyman. He looks like what would pop up. Tony Todd was handsome. That guy pops up. And also he's on crutches. And as somebody who has very recently sprained his ankle and was on crutches for a while, let me tell you, it is disappointing to me that crutch technology has not advanced at all. They just look exactly the same.
Yeah.
He didn't have all those cool 98 Rock stickers on his crutches, though.
Yeah, if only. Really quickly, I want to just the book itself is apparently written by an alchemist named E. Varelli.
Varelli, okay.
And yeah, it talks about the 3 evil sisters of sorrow, tears, and darkness. They live in separate houses that were built for them by said alchemist.
Yeah.
And
again, all of this is setting the precedent that it is like ancient shit.
Right.
But it's an apartment in New York.
Yeah. So Mater Suspiriorum is in Freiburg, Germany. Lacrimarum is in Rome, and Tenebrarum is in New York.
Like an old, because like in Suspiria, it's kind of found that a lot of it takes place like subterraneously, and that a lot of it is like, this is a very ancient, very old village that has kind of expanded and been built on top of. But like New York is fucking New York.
Yeah.
What is it like? Whatever like indigenous tribe that was living in that northernmost area, and then there's just a fucking like 30-story high rise with like rent control apartments.
Yeah. The fact that this movie is about buildings, that's the tie-in, and that it's in New York. That's the Gremlins 2 to Inferno.
Is that really it?
No.
Okay.
I'm literally making that up.
Because I was going to throw my half full soda at your face.
You should. It also explains, because these kind of come back at some point, is that the first key is that these houses will cause rot and decay. The second key is found in the cellar of each house with the picture and name of each sister. And the third key is found under the soles of your shoes.
Now I'm going to explain
Those are
something.
clues that didn't, I guess, matter.
They don't. They amount to nothing. The under your soles matters.
Finally pays off.
Okay. I just hate the way that this whole thing is set up. Because it's a soundstage, you get no geographical spacing at all.
Right.
It looks like his antique shop, this Kazanian antique shop. It looks like a building in a building. Like the whole thing looks like it's inside. The whole scene, the set.
Right. You mean like when she goes out to the street, it still feels like, it feels like Sesame Street. Like, you know that we're on a set.
You know what it feels like? It feels like his shop is like a shop in the mall. Like you're in a mall. I don't know. It's so confusing. But then she goes in and she asks him like, hey, I got this book from you. Is any of it real? And he gets immediately like flustered.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not fucking real. Get out.
Yeah. But she's like, I've noticed some like coincidences from the book that I'm experiencing. Like there's this strange, like sweet smell in the air. He's like sickly sweet.
He's like, there's a cake shop.
Yeah.
It's been here a long time. That's what they should have done. They should have had people like that voice it over. They should have like Sorvinos and fucking Pacinos and just been like, it's the cake shop from down the road. Ooh, ah.
Yes, this is another, just to put it out there, it's an Italian horror film. Basically, a lot of times they just would have whatever actor, whatever language that they spoke the best in real life, that is what they would speak. And then because they're just going to dub it all afterwards anyway.
A lot of the performers speak English,
Yeah.
like they mouth in English. I was surprised that even this guy does, because this guy seems as ancient as the story is suggesting the mothers are.
Yeah.
He's very dismissive, and he's like, no, none of it's real.
Yeah.
You got to go.
Kazanian is played by Sasha Pedoff. I have no
It's
idea.
a PDF file. Yeah.
He was in something called The Prize in 1963. He was in To Catch a Spy, which was a 1971 spy comedy. And then he's in an Italian horror film from 1980 called Patrick Still Lives,
Oh my God.
which is the sequel to a film called Patrick.
Now, as somebody named PJ, that means very little to me.
Yeah. But
The fact that he is not the villain of this story is a waste.
yeah.
He looks so sinister.
Oh, he's sinister.
He's really well. Okay, yeah, he is, but in a different kind of way.
In a different way.
Meow meow. So
Rose, she suspects obviously that she's living in one of these buildings.
I'm already fucking lost.
Because she's like looking, like in the opening bit, she's looking through it and there's a drawing of a building.
Yeah.
And then we see a picture of that building on the wall, and that is the building that she is currently living in.
Because every building has a picture of itself.
Yeah. It's like the office.
Yeah.
Pam
painted
Yeah.
it. Pam did the dub.
Yeah. But she thinks she's living in one of these buildings. So she writes to her brother, Mark, who is a music student in Rome, urging him to come visit her.
I fucking cannot wait
That
to
is
talk
what's,
about
yeah.
Mark.
And so after she talks to Kazanian,
she's like wandering and she looks and she sees like a storm grate.
yeah, that
And
leads
then-
down into the cellar of the building.
And it's like that you hear like the key is in the cellar. And she's like, word. And she walks over and just opens it up and walks down there. And then again, you are met with the most confused, out of place scenery because a cellar, I imagine like Freddy's boiler room,
Right.
Or even like Nancy's basement, something that is bare and industrial with equipment and maybe like a maintenance shed or something. When I think of a cellar of a 100-plus-year-old apartment building in New York, I do not picture just another weird sort of dilapidated apartment that's been like set dressed to look like an old retirement home apartment with a giant water-filled hole. And like there's like a storm drain pipe leaking a channel through what is clearly dressed to be like a living quarter.
Yeah, because she follows this like water pouring down this pipe and then across the floor in a channel leading to this hole in the floor
Filled with like still gray water.
that is
And here's the thing. I am perfectly, you know what? I said, here's the thing. And after our thing discussions, I always catch that when I say that now. So I'm going to just make use of that and I'm going to compare it to the thing.
Okay.
In the thing, you've got what could be a very confusing set. You are in the middle of a blizzard in the center of the bottom of the world. It is all white and just a trailer and another trailer. And it would be so easy to get lost outside or within the hallways of these very bleak places. There are no windows. There is no sunlight. There's nothing that's like that you can kind of calculate.
Right.
But John moves in such a way that you always know where you are. Always. And in this one, we have gone to 2 locations and I am totally lost as to where we are now because a cellar doesn't look like this.
Right.
And a hole that's filled with water that is also another apartment.
Yeah, it's like a layer. It's another layer down into the earth, like a sub basement.
You're close to the subway line.
That is then, it's like a ballroom because there's like chandeliers and things.
But there's also like couches and chairs.
Yeah, it looks like you brought up James Cameron earlier and this scene. But it looks like whenever they take the little sub down into the Titanic, the ruins of the Titanic.
It does.
And you like see like kind of the preserved couches and artwork and things that are on the walls.
What I will say is that what this set dressing looks like is, and I don't know why I'm spending so much time. This is where I really started to get like, okay, what the fuck is happening? And we're a minute in. But it looks like if somebody had to make a Titanic movie and wanted to do exactly what you're saying and take the camera and pretend it's a submarine and go down and find it, but they had like $100,000.
Right.
Like, well, $90,000 of this is going to the safety and like getting the crew to fill this with water and whatnot. So you have like $1,000 to dress it. And we have a living room. Right. You know? But all that to say, she goes to look into it and she drops
her keys.
Her keys.
Yes.
Okay. See, I thought it was one of the keys. I thought one of the keys was a physical fucking key.
No, that's not no. It's not that literal.
Let me tell you, man, if I dropped a key, like my house key in that, fucking bye.
Yeah. That is my first, like, that was going to be my first question is, there's no way. I hate the water.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've really discussed that on this show at this point.
Oh, we have.
I hate the water.
Yeah.
There's no way I am even coming close to doing that. And that's her first thought is like, okay, I guess I'll take my shoes off and jump down there.
It is still undisturbed subterranean water in one of the filthiest cities on the planet.
Well, and just, you do not know you don't know what the room is that you're going down into, and you are absolutely alone. No one knows you're down there. So like, what happens if you get trapped down there?
Right. Something shifts, you move something, it hits the ceiling. What happens if there is something that is alive down there? But she jumps in.
What if there's a dead body?
Oh, what if there's 3? I think there's 3.
I think there's only 1.
Okay.
I think it is the same body and we just see it over and over again.
Like it just keeps floating nearer.
Yep.
Okay. So the very first note that I took is the setting is very confusing even from the jump. The second note that I took is how is she going to get home? Here's my point. She gets in the water fully. She has to walk. She's in New York. She walked to where she is. She clearly doesn't have a vehicle, so she has to walk home. Now, granted, it's just through this one apartment that she's already kind of in, but she's got to get out and walk through the front door. You can see her whole titties.
You can.
There's no part of her that is now not exposed, and she's just like, hey, sorry, I went out for a swim. Like, what? How do you explain this?
Well, okay, well, maybe after she was done there, then she was like, well, I might as well take advantage of this, and she goes to like a bar where they're doing a wet t-shirt contest. And she's like, well, I should win, right?
And they're like, well, no, part of the fun of the wet t-shirt contest is we get to spray you.
Oh. Well, you should have been there in that basement earlier.
She goes, cazzo, which means fuck in Italian.
Does it?
It's like one of the 3 words that I know, yeah.
Hey, that's more than me.
You know spaghetti. Yeah, she goes down, she gets her keys. It's a whole thing. She's holding her breath for a really long time. A door kind of shifts open, and this is super quick because it doesn't amount to anything.
No.
A rubber dead body comes floating out of the water, and it bumps into her a bunch, and she freaks out. Then she gets out, and then she leaves.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the first sequence. And it's like, why did you do this?
She is, and she is like being watched. There is, we get our first pair of the black gloves that pick up something that she left on the floor of the cellar.
Yeah, it was hard to make out. The problem that I have is that I was under the assumption, like I said, that this was an actual key, something that she found, some part of the puzzle. So I'd had the snake on it was my presumption. So this whole scene that opens the movie that had to have been expensive to make is her getting her house keys back from a cellar.
Right.
I don't like the movie. You didn't need to do any of it. Make this a short film. Make this a commercial for Tubi.
That's what we're doing here.
But then I think that's when we
moved to Rome. This is in April. We meet her brother, Mark Elliott, who's played by Lee McCloskey. He's mostly TV work. He had done some TV films called Dawn, Portrait of a Teenage Runaway in 1976, its sequel, Alexander, The Other Side of Dawn in 1977, and then a supernatural horror film in 1988 called Cameron's Closet.
Okay. They're in a music class. They're music students. It's him and his friend. I think her name is Sarah. But they are being taught about this aria that kind of comes up a couple times. Maybe it's just the twice in the weirdest fucking scene in her when she goes to this dude's apartment. She's like, I don't want to be alone. I'm jumping so far ahead. And everyone in this movie does things because No one has it's because, and then there's a big empty space. And that space is just filled with Dario Argento flipping us off from his hepatitis bed because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
They're listening to this music, and Mark is like, it cuts out of nowhere, and he's holding a letter.
Yeah, he has gotten a letter from his sister asking him to,
But it's not like somebody walks up into the class and gives it to him.
No, he just has it.
He goes, "Oh, right, the letter," and he pulls it out. Like, you're in class, brother. You're gonna fail music class, brother.
Which Sarah tries to keep him on track at different points in that class because he's not paying attention.
The problem is then we're met with Italian Jennifer Connelly.
Mm-hmm.
Because that looks just like Italian Jennifer.
Yeah, she has a striking look.
Yeah,
and
she's gorgeous.
And it's the fact that it's the way that she is staring so intently at him. She also has a cat.
Which is a good cat.
It's a real good cat.
A lot of cats.
A lot of cats in this movie.
All good.
We didn't even mention the cats in the alleyway when Rose goes in the cellar.
Guys, don't worry. There are cats in that alleyway.
Yes.
Cats are a big part of this movie. If you like cats, don't watch Cats. That movie apparently is just god-awful.
That music student is played by, who's staring, is played by Ania Peroni. She would later be in The House by the Cemetery, an Italian horror film from 1981, and she's in Argento's Tenebrae.
Okay.
So we will...
Yeah, out of nowhere, she's petting a cat, which I'm pretty sure she's not allowed to have in the school, but
Probably
whatever. She's petting a cat, and then she just turns and is staring at him. And I'm not exaggerating. No. She's staring at him, and he looks at her. And it is she looked at me, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I looked at him, and it's just back and forth. And it cuts like 5 times between the two of them. The window bursts open, and then this I wrote down because this reminds me of Suspiria quite a bit when the evil kind of floats off the top of that monument down to the blind man.
Okay, that's a good
It's the same kind of camera move through the classroom, but the windows burst open only to him, it seems.
Yeah.
And then the class is over,
and she is like
already halfway out the room.
Yeah.
He's like, "Fuck!"
And so he follows her.
She's so hot.
Yeah,
I lost track of the whole class.
And but he accidentally leaves that letter behind, which then Sarah, his friend, finds.
Do you think he was doing like a Fast Times at Ridgemont High thing in his brain with her?
Oh, probably.
Or was he doing it with the cat because he's a freak?
Oh.
Sarah, I wrote down, looks like a combination of Amanda Seyfried and Jessica Alba.
Okay.
If you moosh their faces together. But then I also wrote down that Mark reminds me facially a lot, like a wider face, just barely version of the main mustachioed student guy from Prince of Darkness.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I see what you mean.
Because this was a staring contest between not Jennifer Connelly and not Guy from Prince of Darkness.
Right.
Which is
who we were already calling like younger Tom Atkins.
Yeah, you got like Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. And this, you got not Jen Connelly versus not Guy from those movies we said.
Yeah. Sarah is played by Eleonora Giorgi, who was in Black Belly of the Tarantula, which was a Giallo film from 1971. She is
cool fucking movie name.
Yeah, it is. Giallo names are always the best.
The Black Belly of the Tarantula is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's what we should name this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, guys. We don't mean to confuse you, but we're the Black Belly of the Tarantula podcast now.
We're gonna go back and change the name.
No, we need new marketing.
Oh man. She's also in a movie called The Story of a Cloistered Nun, which was a 1973 nunsploitation film.
Odd.
And she is in a crime drama from 1979 called A Man on His Knees.
She is not bad.
Yeah,
I think
she might be the best part in the whole movie.
I think it's her. Kazanian is obviously. I have a soft spot for him. I think he's fucking crazy. Yeah. He's very good. But no, she's great. But her character is an idiot. Her character steals Mark's letter,
right? Because
she's like, focus, and she keeps it. But then she gets in a taxi,
right? She's going somewhere, we don't know where, and then she commits a felony and reads Mark's letter,
right? She also kidnaps a foreign leader, but that's not a crime, apparently.
No, apparently not.
Yeah, but she opens Mark's letter, interestingly enough, inside the list. But then she goes past the list because it's all redacted and she gets Mark's sister's letter. You can track the history of this scandal through our podcast. Fuck. No, but she gets Mark's letter and she reads it.
Right.
And then she's like, Cabby, I gotta go somewhere else.
Gotta go to a library.
He's like, sure.
How do you say, where is the library in Italian?
Oh, fuck. I know it in Spanish. What if I go, donde está la biblioteca? But I do this with my hand.
He said it, guys.
I did it, guys. Okay, so question for you. Mm-hmm. I think this is when I was done with the movie. Keep in mind, this is probably 10 minutes.
Very early in.
She opens the door to the taxi and she goes to close it and there's a fucking nail sticking out of it.
Right.
A whole nail
Yeah.
sticking out of the door that she touches and pricks her finger on.
Mm-hmm.
Why? For any reason, can you describe to me why there's a nail sticking out of the taxi doorway? Like the door frame.
It does not have any sort of payoff that I can think of.
No. The only thing I could think of is it seems like every time somebody's about to be injured by whatever is killing them, the black gloved killer,
yes,
they bleed in some way first.
Yes. No, that is probably the most that we're getting out of that.
Stupid way to do that.
Yeah.
Give her a paper cut. Mm-hmm. A paper cut would, in a library, a paper cut would, honest to God, be more believable than, sorry, lady, I gotta keep the fucking burglars out, so I put nails in the door.
Yeah, it's the... Instead of child locks, he has those.
I got doornails.
Yeah.
For the record, as I was saying about the Three Mothers book being everywhere.
Yeah.
She goes into the library.
Hold on, real quickly. I just want to say, like, there's several times in this movie where I can't not watch this and put it up against Suspiria.
Oh, the outer. Are you talking about like the outer set of this library?
That also just the taxi ride in general,
the way it's lit,
the way that it's lit, the way that the music builds and like is very frantic and it's in the rain and everything. It's very much like the opening, her riding from the airport to the school.
I'm going to defend the music again because the music's different in this. It's got a lot of like Latin kind of choral stuff. And as fans of Ghost, you and I are all over that.
Yes.
But
that is one of the things where like the main theme in this, where it says
Sings
the
their
names
names,
of the
yeah.
mother, it's very year zero.
Yeah, big time.
Which also leads me to a quick thing where the Suspiria like reimagining, the newer version that came out in like 2018 or something, that one,
the Prime version.
I have put forth that I wish that Ghost had done the score for that in much the same way that, like, you know, they got Goblin, a band, to do the score of Suspiria, the original. I wish that Ghost had done that.
I think if they had made it now, there's a much more obvious line there, but they were so not. No, I like the set dressing here. I feel like this is probably a real building that they shot in front of.
That feels like
this has to be a real building. Yeah. It's huge. But she goes in and this is what I was saying about this book being everywhere is she asks a very old librarian, do you have a copy of The Three Mothers? He looks up for a second and he's like, oh yeah, it's right behind you. And then he leaves.
It's literally just behind her. It is the funniest moment in the whole movie to me.
Yeah. It pays off for nothing. Okay, this is a note that I have because of where this scene then goes.
Yes.
She picks it up, she reads a little bit,
and she starts hearing someone like whispering her name.
Yeah. Did you like the Pennywise thing where as she walks in, there's like somebody creepily staring at her?
Yeah.
But because it means nothing and has no payoff, I think it's stupid.
Yeah. So she takes that, she follows a sign, even though she came in from one direction. She takes the book and then, without checking it out in any way,
no, because they're like, we're closing,
just walks down these stairs where there's a sign that says exit and then ends up in the underbelly of the library.
Well, yeah, and this is how I wrote it down. I said, yes, the old under the library apothecary and witch hut where they boil cum. I could bleep that, I guess, but I'm not going to. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And according to what we do in the shadows, witches steal semen.
Oh,
that's just the truth.
Wow.
It is. It's like buckets of like vanilla pudding that are bubbling grossly, and an old witch figure with like a bowl cut, like the classic 70s Italian haircut. And she's like, "Oh, sorry, I don't know what this is." Because why would it be here?
Why would it be here? Yeah. And then like she notices that he notices the reflection of the book. And so she's like, sorry, I got to leave now.
And he's like, give me that fucking book right now. Drop that shit. And she's like, would it have happened if it were any book? Do you think he just listened to like reading? Like, she's got it.
Why do you live under a library if you hate reading?
He's boiling books. What do you think what do you think that cummy stuff is? It's just boiled paper.
Okay. We're solving this.
No, we're not. If anything, I'm getting more angry. That would be like going to like, in downtown St. Pete, there's that bar, Iberian Rooster. And it's like a restaurant at the top.
Well, it used to be. I think it's called something else now.
Okay, yeah. So 5 years ago, there's, had a restaurant on the top and then a big staircase and you go down. It's kind of like a speakeasy, like underground. But what if when you went down there, it was a dog track?
Oh, man.
And you were like,
we could have been making money.
But you're like, why is there a dog track down there? But then everyone else is like, yeah, that's just what goes down under bars. It's like, what? No. Why do you have an apothecary under this library?
So,
and if it's that easy to find, that's the whole point about the Three Mothers book thing being like, don't touch that book. It's filled with evil, but everyone's got a copy. Yeah. It's like, if your secret underground society of evil witches that protect the Three Mothers, if they're just in a room with no door off of a spiral staircase where the signs are pointing exit at,
anyone could stumble in.
They got to kill so many people by accident.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Guys, don't go to libraries. Yeah. That's what we're saying.
That's what we're saying now.
Yeah. Give all your money to Amazon and kill the planet.
Okay. You know how like the answer to everything in Suspiria, any question that you might have is just witches. The answer to everything in this movie, whenever you have a question, and I know you've had a couple.
I have a lot more. Yeah.
The answer in Inferno is just alchemy.
Yeah. Which is basically witches. Yeah. It's more or less the same.
But like Dario Argento in one of the little interviews on this Blu-ray, he like stresses the difference there of like, he didn't just want to do witches again.
That's fine.
Alchemy is where they landed.
Make that the thing that is the through line for the trilogy, though.
Yeah.
That it's the same people that run the dance academy or the same people that run like the library. Make that the central focus. I have no problem with that. Yeah. But just saying, oh, yeah, there was an old alchemist. An alchemist who, by the way, is still alive. This movie is set in the modern day of the 80s. So he is alive. So he couldn't have built this fucking building very long ago.
Right.
So it's not like it's ancient mythological, beings. They had to have contacted this guy sometime in like, what, the turn of the century?
Yeah, and I can't remember if there was a
The Three Mothers were flapper girls and they were getting the business down in Chicago. I've never seen that movie. The thing that I'm then confused by, because Sarah, who is visibly shaken by this experience and the weirdness of like the creepy hands out of the gloves. Because, oh yeah, by the way, our black glove killer, you get to see his hands and they're like meefy. They're kind of like Freddy Krueger-ish.
Yeah, we get to see him take the gloves off. It's nice. There's a shot in this movie where like you see the gloved hands and then you just whoop. Takes it right off.
His internal monologue is like, somebody read the Three Mothers book. I'm taking their gloves off. And it's like, oh shit.
And I think that it's maybe supposed to be a like a realization to the viewer, because we see the black gloves sometimes. Yeah. And then we see the clawed hands sometimes. And I think that moment when you see the gloves come off, we're supposed to go, oh, they're the same person.
I think we've only seen the gloves up to that point.
Yeah,
though.
Probably.
But it's stupid, and we don't need scenes dedicated to that. She leaves the book, by the way. She's like, I don't want this book anymore.
Yeah,
I think it's important.
She drops it. She escapes.
So her crime so far is she went to a library and she picked up the Three Mothers, and then she found the cum dungeon. That's right. What she's done. So she then goes back home.
Yes, she goes home. And she calls Mark and tells him to come to see her because she's afraid.
Right away.
So she asks her neighbor, Carlo, to keep her company.
And they clearly do not know each other. It is like a stranger's situation.
Yeah, it is. It is. They both happen to get... This is how it looks. They both get into the elevator at the same time, and he goes, what floor? And she's like, the fourth floor. And then they go up, and they get off together, and she's like, hey... I'm afraid. I need you to come and hang out with me.
And he immediately is like, sure. Because, he's like, oh, yeah, I've been peeping this lady for a long time. And now I'm going to beef her Roni.
Yeah,
Ew.
he's believing that.
Yeah.
Carlo is played by an actor named Gabriel Lavia, who was in the Italian supernatural horror film called Beyond the Door from 1974. He was in Deep Red in 1975, and he would later be in the 2001 giallo Sleepless, also directed by Dario Argento.
Not in Seattle.
No. She tries to explain, this is another one of those scenes, like you said, where she tries to explain the book, the three mothers, the notes, the weirdness.
And she like plays on the record player. She plays the aria from the music class before. I think. I don't know for certain.
I didn't even pick up on that.
But I think.
Yeah.
The power begins to flicker, because that's the thing, is I want to talk about the characters. I want to talk about what they do and what they experience. But so far in the movie, we've spent time with Rose, who we've left. Then we now spent a lot of time with Sarah, who we're about to leave permanently.
Yeah.
And there's no definitive main character until the third act. And then by the time you get to him, he is the least likable person ever. And I'll get to why for me in a second, because the pacing of this is really good. I really like this part. She puts a record on, the power begins to flicker. So the lights and the record shut off.
Yeah.
And then it'll all come back on. The record begins to play again. It's blaring this Italian opera.
In a weird way, now that you're saying it, it makes me think, and it's different. It's the difference in diegetic and non-diegetic sound, but the opening of Suspiria, when she's walking out of the airport and the door opens and the music plays when the storm is raging, and then as soon as the door closes, the music cuts off.
Yeah, I like that. The thing it reminded me of, and I don't know why I keep pulling to it, but is in It Chapter 1. Who's the director of that movie?
Andy.
It starts with an M, right?
Yeah,
I think, is he Italian or is he? I think he might be Spain.
Stand by. Andy Muschietti, I believe is how you pronounce it.
Yeah. It's there are a few notes that kind of feel similar. To me, it's the part where all the kids are in the garage and they've got the little slide projector and it keeps going. It's not the same with music, but it's like it'll stop and then it starts again, and the suspense gets worse and worse. And it's almost like, well, I wish it just wouldn't turn back on, because yes, when it turns on, it's safety, it's noise, it's lights, but that means it's going to turn off again. And I like that. And I like the way that we follow her down the hall. And he's just so goddamn good with lighting. And the way the camera follows, it is following, but at a pace much slower. So that she just vanishes. Or not her, sorry, Carlo.
Yeah. Because he goes to check on the fuse box.
Yeah. And it's a really good rug pull here as well. And I'll explain why I have a problem with the scene overall, because I'm giving it really good praise here, because I think it's really good. She's calling for him. You're supposed to talk. You're supposed to tell me where you are, so I know where you are. And he does, and he responds, and he's like, I think I fixed it. And she goes into the room. She calls his name one more time, and he stumbles out, and there's a knife all the way through his neck, and he's like choking to death. Now, the reason I love that is because up until that point, he was alive. We knew he was alive. We knew he was fine. And then at the last second, he must have gotten killed.
Right.
And that is a good rug pull. I like everything about this scene. Here's the problem that I have.
Okay. It's
a scene revolving around people we do not know, that we just met, that do not know each other. And the biggest sin here, God, I don't want to be that Cinema Sins dickhead, but the biggest problem is that we don't know why she's being targeted. We don't know what she's done. We don't know. She knows nothing. She has read nothing of substance from this book. So up to that point, it really is just like, is it just because she was seen holding it? Because that's like a whole new level of book banning. That's like, if you touch this fucking Gay Penguins book, we're going to follow you to your apartment and we're going to kill your neighbor.
Yeah. And then you.
Assumedly.
Yes. Now, again, I draw the comparison to Suspiria, because that movie opens with our main character coming from the airport, going to the school in the middle of a storm. And when she's not let in and drives away, she notices this other girl running, stumbling through the woods. And then we cut to that girl and we follow her for like the next 10 minutes as she goes into an apartment, goes upstairs, talks to her friend, tries to explain the weirdness of the situation, and then
she is killed. And that's great because that is the catalyst for the rest of the film. This amounts to nothing.
Yes and no.
To the point where Mark walks in because, after the killer, the gloved killer, takes the knife out of Carlo's neck, sticks it in Sarah's back. It's brutal. It's a great looking effect. She's like reaching for it. That's what I mean when I say she's really good.
Yes.
Like, everything she does is believable. She's like crawling, but clearly she's got that affectation of like moving my back would move the knife and it hurts. She's killed.
Yes.
Mark shows up.
Yeah.
And through a like wall door.
Yeah. Whenever that's the most bizarre part to me is he walks in. The first thing he finds is like a couple pieces of
his sister's note.
The note. But then, it's almost like a bed sheet that's been stretched across a open doorway or something to look like a wall.
But so taut that a knife could pierce it without any struggle.
And so her fingers tear through.
Because I thought, it's the villain.
Right.
And then it's her and she drops dead in front of Mark. And I don't know if it's because this actor is fucking terrible or if it's written this way to show that he is a cold-hearted, cold-blooded psychopath. He doesn't give a fuck. It is so I don't know what this performance is supposed to be.
Yeah, it is weird because from the scene earlier in the classroom, we have to assume that they are friends.
They seem very close. She calls his number.
And
says, come to my house.
And she's trying to like help him in class. And it feels like that thing of like, he's he gets distracted by other things and she has to keep him on task.
She is comfortable enough to take the note from him.
Presumably to give it back to him.
Right. But she's also comfortable enough with him to invite him to her home. No address needed. No directions. Just come over. And he does. He's clearly been there. Yeah. These guys are fucking.
Yeah.
They're making Italian babies, little meatballs. But the point is that, God, I hope we don't.
I hope one of them doesn't run for governor of Florida.
The Third Channel podcast. Most hated podcast in all of Italy. But he just doesn't care. He drops to a knee and he's looking. And it's like, he kind of like moves her body a bit. And it's just like, and just fucking doesn't register it at all.
Yeah.
I don't know if the performer was like, I'm going to seem like stunned. But I was like, brother,
you seem disinterested.
Yeah. We can't then look at you and go, are you okay? And then you react and confirm that with us. We're watching you through a screen.
Yeah.
And a distance of 40 years. Like you have to emote with your face.
Yeah. Cause like, I don't know how I would react if I saw a dead body, like tear through a sheet and fall dead in front of me. Of a friend of mine.
Yeah, I mean...
But I think I would have more reaction than he does.
Because, like, okay, if it were Dylan, obviously terrified, heartbroken. If it's Bug, you and I are like, yes! Yes! He's gone! The evil is gone! Yeah, he doesn't give a shit. And that scene just ends.
Yeah, the police arrive and then he walks out of the apartment and he sees a taxi slowly drive by. And in the taxi is the music student from earlier staring at him. I don't think we ever see her again.
No, he in this moment envisions her. I don't remember the name of the movie, but the one where she's on like the Kmart on like the kitty horse ride that like bucks her around. He's thinking about that because Jennifer Connelly is my biggest Hollywood crush ever.
Oh, okay.
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
Talk about how good she is. That's what the episode is now.
Oh, okay. She's really good.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I've seen tons of movies with her in it.
Or parts of them.
Sure. Parts for sure.
Yeah. Safe search off. Safe search on. I like a good censored photo.
Yes.
I like a good pixel blur.
Yeah. You into bubbling?
I don't know what that is, and I'm so afraid.
Okay. Google it. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
I'll tell you off, Mike.
I'll tell you when you're older.
Yeah. This is where we get our next little title card of New York, the same night in April.
Yeah. It's like, but over here now.
Yeah.
That's what it should say.
Because Mark, he calls his sister Rose, but is unable to like hear what she's saying clearly. And so he promises like, yeah, I will come there just as the connection fails. And then she sees two like shadowy figures on the outside of her front door about to break in. And so she leaves through the back door, and then in probably the best example of just the confused architecture of this entire layout.
Where the fuck does she go?
She goes out of a back door down a hallway, and it looks like the hallway out there and the doorways and stuff look like the Suspiria hallway. With the classrooms, not the classrooms, but the like the living hallway where it's like witches.
Yeah. What I wrote down is that she leaves her very nice furnished New York apartment. She goes out the back door and into the season 1 Daredevil hallway. It's like a mattress and a bunch of things hanging off the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's like,
because she like goes downstairs, but then once she goes, every level she changes or every time she goes through a door, we seem to be in a different type of building.
There is an old haunted house and you're going to know exactly what I mean. There's an old haunted house from Horror Nights. I think it was their 30th anniversary.
Okay.
And they had a house plan. I think it was Evil Dead Rise. They had a house plan.
Yes.
The house pulled its contract at the last minute, so they couldn't put that house on. So they needed to do something else. And they were like, oh, fuck, what do we do? And so they literally went into a warehouse and grabbed handfuls of things from years past, wrote a kind of story to tie it all together. And they called it Hell Block Horror. And it was a monster jail. And so you would just walk from room to room to room, and it would be another like, oh yeah, this is from this house 10 years ago. And they would just seed it along that way. And that's what every time a character leaves a room, that's what it feels like. It's like, oh fuck, Dario, we're out of money. What do we do? Oh, I don't know. I made this movie like 8 years ago called the black underside of the tarantula belly or whatever. Go grab that shit. It's crazy. Because there's a sign on the door, the last door that she opens before she's killed. She opens, spoiler, she opens this door and it either says lavatory or laboratory. And at first I thought to myself, I was like, that's funny that I thought it said laboratory. Because it's an apartment building. It's a bathroom. It's a laboratory. It's an old building or whatever. She walks in and it's covered in spider webs and I think taxidermied reptile bodies.
Yes, there are. Yeah.
All over the place. It's like attic kind of cobwebby like junk, like old fucking penny farthing bicycles and an actual clown seated in a chair waiting to come back.
I like that reference.
I like that.
I understand it.
But the Ty would not like that reference because he hates that movie. It scarred him. We're talking about Terrifier, folks. But she walks around this crazy, crazy building, and the longer she's in there and the more specimens of creatures there are, I think that sign says laboratory. It makes more sense for lizard corpses that are taxidermied to be in a laboratory than a laboratory.
Yes. My favorite part of these lizard taxidermied bodies is that whenever the attack happens, we cut to a reaction shot of those lizards their mouth is open like they are shocked.
Yeah.
They show more emotion than Mark whenever his friend collapses dead in front of him.
Those lizards. That's because they didn't have to dub anything. They could be their own. They could do their own thing.
She to make reference to something you said before, she cuts her hand on a glass
doorknob.
Yeah, that just like shatters in her hand, like splits in two.
Now, what I will say, that's stupid. And having doorknobs made of actual glass is stupid, especially if they're like weak glass and they break like that.
Yeah. Well, that's what the third guardian that the Baudelaire children went to live with was afraid of, is that the glass doorknobs would explode.
My favorite shot, the most Argento-y shot, I think in almost the entire movie, but definitely in this act, is the gloved man walking up to the broken doorknob to pick it up. And we are looking at that from like a warped angle from this broken glass.
Yeah.
Really cool camera work. What's even cooler, what's cool effects work is then what happens in the lab bathroom, whatever. In this room, You said this to me, and I hadn't seen this part of the movie yet, but we were texting each other. And you're like, yeah, well, when Rose gets decapitated. And I was like, I haven't gotten there yet, but I'll look out for it. I'm sure I can't blink and you miss it, right?
You can't.
You cannot.
It's the slowest decapitation ever.
Dullest guillotine blade of all time.
But I do kind of like this weird setup. As she's moving through these different weird architectural buildings and rooms and whatnot,
right?
We get this weird flash of these like cat eyes. That are like peeking out of like a crack in the wall or something. It's I have no idea.
It was very giallo-y. The yellow and evil eyes.
And it's very, it's like the kind of cat eyes that we see at the beginning of Suspiria that flash through the window. But
for the record, this set is where I thought a matte painting would be. You've got all the cobwebs and stuff, and then up at the top of the frame is like this white. I don't know what it would be. My brain couldn't make it out.
Yeah.
So I started smashing myself in the face with cutting boards and all kinds of big wooden things so that I would pass out, but it didn't work. So I kept watching the movie.
But Rose is then, she's grabbed from behind, like through a window, an open window. And she is, by the clawed assailant.
Yeah.
We've seen his hands a few times.
And then again, random nails just jutting out of a door frame.
And so her head is like pulled back and held down against these nails in the windowsill. And then the glass of the window is like perfectly cracked in a way that it looks like a guillotine blade.
Yeah. And he brings it down, lifts it up, brings it down. Really good special effects work. Only problem I have with these movies, because Suspiria was the same way. Not a lot of blood in Suspiria, not as much. Well, actually, I don't remember. Maybe I'm wrong. But the blood is way oversaturated.
That is Italian horror.
Yeah.
Italian horror, they go all out for the red, bright red blood.
It reminded me of Evil Dead. But that blood is always different colors. But the thing is, I mean, it was so like it looked like lipstick more than it looked like blood. I didn't realize that was like a cultural thing.
Oh yeah, it's always that, and it's it just makes me think of Tenebrae. But yeah, that is like kind of a staple of the genre.
Yeah, the note I have is cool decapitation scene, bro. But why is this happening?
Yeah, this is one of those, like, the pacing of this movie is almost, you could almost set your clock by it of like every 10 minutes there's a kill.
Sure. But what I mean is I don't understand why this character is being targeted in any way. They have not explained that to us.
No. At some point in this like chase and whatnot, we get a shot of the Black Gloves picking up her copy of the book. Sure. So they know that whoever is doing this knows that she has a copy of the book.
Wouldn't it be better if it was an ancient fucking tome? Wouldn't that make more sense?
Yeah.
Because the fact that it's a book that everyone's got, it's got like the Penguin Publishing House like logo on the back of it. Like everyone's got it. It's fucking crazy.
Mark arrives in New York and goes straight to her building, and he meets Carol, who is the concierge in the building, and then a couple of the residents, including a nurse who is pushing an elderly man in a wheelchair, who's named Professor Arnold, and he apparently cannot speak. Really quickly, Carol is played by Alida Valli, who is in Eyes Without a Face, a French horror film from 1960. She is in a French horror comedy called Tender Dracula.
Oh, fuck.
From 1974. And then she was also in Suspiria. The nurse is played by Veronica Lazar, who was in Last Tango in Paris. She was in The Beyond, which is an Italian supernatural horror film from 1981. And she is in another Argento film called The Stendhal Syndrome from 1996.
Cool.
And then Professor Arnold is Fyodor Shalapin Jr., who was in Moonstruck, which was an 87 rom-com that starred Cher. And then he's in an Italian horror film in 88 called The Catacombs, and another Italian horror film from 89 called The Church. Mark finds in, I guess, Rose's apartment, he finds the word mater, like scratched into, I don't know, a table or something. Because he's attempting to, he can't find his sister. He's trying to figure out what's going on.
And now that he's read the word mater, technically he's read something from that book. So he's on the shit list.
Yeah.
He's being targeted.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
He encounters this kind of sickly countess who has a very long name, Elise de Longvale Adler, who is played by Daria Nicolodi.
Interesting.
Yeah. She
She's
was
good.
She was married to Argento from 1974 to 1985. She also appears in Deep Red, Suspiria, Tenebrae, and Phenomena.
She's very good in this.
She actually, between her and Sarah, like I think they're the two best actresses.
But this is the problem, right? Is that this whole movie is the same two scenes just kind of flip flop back and forth. It is either somebody very bored doing exposition to the exact same exposition. Like the story is passing like fucking herpes from person to person to person to person. And everyone looks just so bored hearing it. She doesn't look as bored. She's like, oh yeah, weird shit does happen in this place. And it's like, okay, cool. But it's either that or somebody gets cut and then walks around for a long time and then gets murdered.
Yeah.
It is just those things.
No, you're not wrong. This scene is, I guess, most like the scene in Suspiria where our two lead women are like trying to piece together and they're like listening to the footsteps go down the hall and like counting them and things like that. Because this is like, the Countess here, she shows Mark this like hole in the wall that connects to these like pipes that if you whisper into them, like your voice can travel through the entire building.
Yeah. Eventually they find their way like sort of into the back rooms of this place. And Mark is like somehow across like the courtyard of the building. Again, the geographical space of this is so confusing because somehow he manages to get across to they're looking out the window at each other.
Right.
But then apparently he has a fucking like AFib sort of like pulmonary issue where his heart gives up a bit.
Yeah.
It's not very well explained.
No, not at all. It's basically mentioned like once off.
Yeah. Well, because he says he's like fainting and passing out. And we see this from the perspective of the Countess who's looking across through the windows at him. Now, this is a trope that I love. And I was very happy to see it here. This is probably the earliest I've ever seen this done. I love this. I think this is so spooky and so well handled, especially in this movie, is our Countess character is looking through whatever distance into the other window where Mark is. And Mark is being dragged by the guy who's wearing the black gloves. And she's looking, she's like, oh my God. And then as like she kind of bristles and reacts, the masked figure looks up and it's just his silhouette, sees her, runs to the next window to get a better look, and then fucking vanishes.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, bitch, he's coming for you.
Yeah.
And that is some scary shit. I love this trope.
Yeah. This kind of looking across the building at each other makes me think of Scream 6.
Yes.
And that like, you know, finally kind of looking at each other and then Ghostface disappearing.
It's like it's inaccessible. But their freedom is right there. I could get to you, Mark, and save you, but there's just such a divide.
Yeah.
I think this would be much better if we could get a better sense of the geography, if we knew how far away. Because it seems to me that he just fucking walked over there. So, like, why couldn't she do that?
Right.
But as he's being dragged away, he looks up in the daze and the dizziness, and he's like, it's my heart. I'm sick. I don't feel good. My heart. And they're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, because he stumbles into the foyer of this building, and he complains to Carol and the nurse who happen to be there about the heart issues, and they end up putting him to bed, and they like very much like in Suspiria, they put her, you know, they put him to bed and they force him to drink some elixir, some liquid of some kind, and this moment is one of those that like, we as the viewers have no idea who is in on this. Yeah. Like, who can we trust in any of this?
Or trust to do what?
Right. Well, yeah,
Right.
I mean, that's a good point. I also feel like this is a bit like the chase scene, him moving around the building and then being chased by something and not killed, but nearly killed.
I think for an effective stalker scene in any movie, an effective being hunted, you need to know why, which I'm going to repeat a million times. And I'm sorry if this is getting annoying, but it's like, we do not know why any of this is happening. We have no idea. We have a loose assumption that ends up not even really meaning anything. But we need to know why, and we need to know where. We need to know where they're coming from, where they're attacking, where is the person in relation to the building. But we've been given none of that. It's a giant apartment building, and we have no idea where we are in it at any one time. And so it's like, well, how hard was it for the stalker to get to Mark? Was it very difficult? Is it easy? Is everyone in constant danger? Like it cheapens it.
Yeah. A part I feel like we missed out on, it's one of the more bizarre things in the entire film, is after the masked, gloved, black robed figure looks across and sees her and runs out of frame to come and get her. She is then chased, and while trying to escape, she is attacked by what can only be called a swarm of vicious cats.
In Kazanian's antique shop, the guy from the beginning. And the reason that is important, we'll come back later. But so I wrote down, they have to be real.
Oh, yeah, they absolutely are.
It is like a dozen cats.
And they are just, people off screen are just hucking these cats at her.
It's insane the things that they were willing to do to these cats.
Yes, it really is.
And like, I feel bad for her because they clearly are like fucking attacking her because they're pent up and upset.
Which is funny that I'm putting all this together now because, yeah, looking across is like Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window. And then this scene where they're throwing cats at this woman is very much like Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, where they're just chucking live seagulls at her.
Now, the good news is that in Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, the making of that film, when those birds would need to be retired, they would be fed to feral stray cats. The feral stray cats here, of course, were fed to, I have to assume feral dogs. And those feral dogs were probably fed to, I don't know, what eats a dog? A bear? Something like that? And eventually you get up to dragons, which is the whole Game of Thrones joke that I was going to make. But that fell apart real quick.
Yeah.
Fell apart as quick as the plot of Inferno.
They're eating the dogs.
Oh, shit.
And then on top of all of that, I'll make another Hitchcock reference.
Oh, God.
In the way that this story is told we have one protagonist who is then killed, and we hand off the story to another protagonist who is searching for the first protagonist. Like Psycho.
There it is.
I don't know if any of this is
God, Psycho is so much better than this, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so yes, she is attacked by cats.
And then she is stabbed to death.
Yeah, the cats mean nothing. Nothing.
Or they mean everything. We also see the Black Gloves take 3 copies of the Three Mothers book off of the shelves of that antique store.
They're all next to each other. He had 3 copies of it.
Yeah. And then that owner, the antique shop guy, is scratched by a cat who's in his shop, who then also smashes a statue that he's very upset about.
Again, a broken object and somebody bleeds. It's the same every time.
Yeah.
The next morning, Mark, like I said, Mark goes to the lady who looks like Alice from the Brady Bunch.
Tries to go to Elise, and she won't answer the door. So then he thanks Carol, the concierge, for helping him the night before.
Yeah. And she's like, yeah, don't worry about it. We gave you heart medicine. Look at my giant teeth. I was in the Brady Bunch. She looks just like her.
Now that you've said it.
She's evil. And the manservant looks like Italian Rod Serling. Granted, I think Rod Serling may have been Italian, but
I couldn't tell you.
That Rod stands for Roderico.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Mark then goes to Kazanian's shop.
He's in the fucking concierge and he's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck what you do. Get these cats out of my fucking shop. There's like 60 cats and you own the building. Get the fucking cats out. They scratched me. They broke a statue. I don't know why they keep coming into my house, but you need to get these fucking cats out of here. And she's like, you'll do whatever you will. And then he fucking does. And it's crazy, and we'll get there.
But yeah, Mark talks to Kazanian, and, again, like you said, it's another one of these, just he explains what has happened so far in the movie
that we've been watching.
He's looking for his sister.
Right.
Something to do with the book that she got from him.
Correct. Which she explained to him the day before.
Right. And Kazanian is just like, he provides no information.
Yeah,
he's not given anything.
I do not care. Please leave I have all these cats. Please leave my shop.
And so he basically just sends Mark away.
Yeah.
And so that night, Kazanian, he gathers several cats that have been in his shop, annoying him and breaking things.
To quote the Joker from a Batman adventure novel that my brother let me read, where the Joker, to break into, I believe, the mayor's residence, walks around and gathers kittens and puts them in a burlap sack so he can toss the bag of kittens over the fence to distract the guard dogs, which is terrible. And that's what the Joker does. But he sings the song while he does it. I'm collecting kitties and putting them in a bag. And that's what Kazanian does. At one point, he's got a full-grown cat by the scruff of its neck, which you are not supposed to do.
No.
Like, especially as they get that old, it hurts them.
Yeah.
And
the
then
cat does not seem to be enjoying it.
It's hissing and yowling, and then he bonks its fucking head on a chair leg. Like, there's no way he doesn't actually hit the cat.
Yeah, that I would have to go back and like really watch that particular shot, like that insert shot, to see if that's like a stuffed cat or a fake
like
cat.
A fucking cat.
Yeah.
Now the problem is with the way that your TV is set up, and the way that Ozzy, our cat, his cat tower is set up. He saw all of this.
Oh no.
He's not well.
He hasn't spoken to me all day.
Yeah, he has CPTSD. The C in the beginning is cat. But he's very upset. They're all yowling and stuff. Honest to God, it did wake him up. And he looks around and he's like, what the fuck are you watching? And I was just like, I'm getting some ideas. And Carly threw a dart at my neck.
Oh.
Because I threatened her son.
Yeah, this is a bizarre scene.
So 2 things about this scene that I want to get in front of. The first thing is, holy shit. How, from what depth do you plumb in your soul to be like, oh yeah, cats in a bag drowning in my movie?
Yeah.
But then also you recognize as well, this means nothing. It does nothing.
Right.
It does nothing. It doesn't move the plot forward at all. And as far as we're aware, he is killed in a way that also has no bearing on the story. So I'm going to get through this pretty quick. Yeah. This bothers me.
Yeah. It would be the scene, I think, that like is going to turn animal lovers off of this movie.
I don't know anybody that doesn't like cats.
Right.
There are certain people that don't love dogs. Dogs are big. Dogs are very in your face. Cats are pretty universally loved. They are chill. And even when they're crazy for a couple seconds and they fuck off.
Yeah.
This man has gathered a bunch of cats and has put them into a burlap sack and has tied it shut. And he's on crutches and he crutches himself into very shallow water in Central Park.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of rats. He pushes the bag into the water and then with a crutch shoves it down and drowns the cats, which is terrible. And I fucking hate that sentence.
Yeah.
He he trips, loses his crutch in the water and he begins to be eaten by rats
that pour out of like a sewer drain.
They are real rats.
Yep.
There are hundreds of them. What I wrote down is, he screams, the rats are eating me. And then at one point he screams, they're eating me alive. And that to me is like fucking final chapter where he's like, the guy gets in the basement and Jason is hacking him to pieces and he's like, he's killing me. Oh God, he's killing me. And it just rang the same. The other thought that I had is maybe that this is actually happening to this man. That's his real house.
They were shooting the scene. And he was drowning, like it's fake. Obviously, he's drowning cats for the movie. But then he actually trips and falls, and they were just like, "Keep rolling."
Yeah.
And then the rats come out and they start attacking, and they're like, "Keep rolling. This is great."
It's fucking unibrow painter
Frida Kahlo?
Frida Kahlo in bed at the art exhibit because she couldn't get up. It's the same thing. He's in Central Park in his bed with the canopy and everything. And they're like, Dario, the fucking rats are eating it. And he's like, bellissimo, continue. And they're like, really? And he's like, a good scene. And they're like, but it means nothing for the movie. And then he's a little bit of snuff.
And then like he's actually being attacked by these rats, right?
Yeah.
And then a hot dog vendor just happens to hear the commotion.
Okay. Folks, we don't recommend you watch this one. You don't need to, but I do recommend watching at least this part. Fast forward the cat murder and then watch the rats eating this guy. But then across the like pond in this Central Park little vignette, there is a hot dog cart. And in it, you see the silhouette of a man like in a chef's outfit, and he's wandering around. And then the guy's going, help me! The rats are eating me alive. And the guy turns around and he goes, oh shit. And he runs out of his hot dog stall. And he comes running down the shoreline of the pond in Central Park. And he runs up and he just fucking stabs the dude in the neck. The guy being eaten by rats, he stabs him with a giant knife several times and then just stops. So my question to you, Darren, is this the weird witch alchemist glove claw guy that has been our giallo slasher this entire time? Is that him in disguise? Putting a day's work into a hot dog cart to get this kill in? Or
is he being like controlled by
I wasn't even going to say that.
Magic?
Is this hot dog guy going, that guy's getting eaten by rats? Nah, I can't save him, but I'm going to put him out.
Not on my watch.
I'm taking this guy out. He doesn't deserve this. Or he's like, fuck you. I love cats.
Yeah.
I give my hot dog water to cats.
Whatever the option is. I love all of that.
It's fucking insane.
It is the craziest moment to me in this entire film because you think that he is running over to help and he just whips out a giant knife and kills this guy.
Yeah.
Who is already being murdered by rats.
And we know that because he's screaming it. It is the most bizarre piece of cinema I've ever seen. Yep. And ultimately it frustrates me because it's funny and I get a little bit of enjoyment, but ultimately it just frustrates me because it means nothing. It leads to nothing. It does nothing. And it's frustrating because why would we spend this long? Make it mean something. You wrote the goddamn thing. Yeah. Write something important in. But no, the guy who runs the bookstore with the three mothers, he gets eaten by rats and the hot dog stabbed.
He's selling the book to other people. The book that we're not supposed to, the book that no one's supposed to read or know about because it's telling on the mothers, right?
Yeah.
Why is it mass produced? It should be one copy. It should be it should be 3 copies.
One for each mother.
Right.
And then a 4th for Sam L. Jackson because he's the motherfucker.
Yes.
Right.
That makes sense. But yeah, no, there should be like 3 copies of it. It should be like the Book of the Dead.
Sure.
In Evil Dead, Army of Darkness.
And they have it recorded on vinyl and all kinds of stuff.
But yeah, it's weird that like we see like 5 copies of this book.
You can get it at Barnes and Noble. Get it on your Kindle.
Next we move to Carol the concierge and Elise's butler John, who are now plotting to take advantage of the Countess's death by stealing all of her valuables.
Right, because up to that point, I was under the assumption, like in Suspiria, how like all of the adults are kind of all in on it, but they aren't. They're just like, oh, cool.
Because Carol seems to be, because she is like, she keeps assuring, like John is like, well, how do we know that she's not going to come back for this stuff? And Carol's like, she's definitely not coming back for this stuff.
Right.
And so it's like, well, and like the weird, they gave something to Mark and put him to bed. And like just the way that she's looking at the camera and talking at him.
Yeah.
It just seems like she's in on it. But then what follows is like, clearly not.
Right. It's at the point where the manservant is like, she thought she hid it forever, but I found it. I'm assuming like jewels or something. Right. They're jewels, Betty.
Right.
They're jewels. But then Betty goes like, have you been, and it's the weirdest dialogue. She's like, have you been drinking again? He's like, no. She's like, okay. It's like, she's like, I can smell it on you, but fine. It's like, What is this? We don't know them.
It is. We've seen Carol. Like, this is about the third time we've seen her. I think this is the first time you're seeing John. I do not know of this man.
No, so he's in a scene before he runs her a bath.
Yes.
But it's like,
okay,
because that's why I said manservant, because he feels like a robot.
Yes.
Like
it's
Tomorrowland
very
sort of.
odd. Yeah.
But anyway, long story short, they get murdered.
Yeah. John goes into the apartment.
Like a back room with like curtains.
He's grabbed by
Again,
the clawed hands.
This looks like an opera, like an opera booth.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why this is in her fucking house.
Which is all part of this apartment building.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all the same.
Every apartment looks different.
He gets murdered. And then she goes to find him. She hears
like glass shattering.
This is also something really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Is what her death then leads to happening.
Okay.
Oh,
right. Okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah. She's got like a candle and she rounds the corner and John, the manservant, is like, his eyes are smooshed out of his head.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
It looks fine.
They've been, like smushed is because they're not like, it's not like his eyes have been gouged out and they're open wounds.
No, it looks like the back of his head has been, he's laying in a way where we can't see the back of his head. But it looks like the back of his head has been smashed and his eyes popped out like an orbital blowout. She screams and she
drops the candle, which starts the room on fire.
She
like the curtains.
Yeah. Which falls and she gets wrapped up into a curtain and is burning.
She falls out of a window.
And then, like in Suspiria, smashes through a glass roof, lands in but instead of landing like in the ceiling and making this big dramatic thing, like in Suspiria, she just kind of lands in one of these weird back rooms in some trash.
Yeah.
Like she lands on a pile of trash. That then subsequently burns the place to the ground.
Yeah, eventually.
Over the course of like the next hour.
Yeah.
Because we catch back up with Mark.
As Smokey Bear would say, only you can prevent Dario Argento's Inferno.
Please, somebody go back in time. He's been in his, like, I guess it's still Rose's apartment that he's just crashing in. There's been a bunch of ants.
And
he keeps
which is kind of like the maggots in Suspiria.
And also, because I keep making parallels, also like the insects and shit in Prince of Darkness, the beetles and the worms and stuff. Yeah. But they're coming out of a hole in the floor. And then what a normal movie would do is he'd see the hole in the floor where the ants are coming out of. And he would say to himself, oh, I get it now. The third key is under the soul. But he kind of says it absentmindedly. And then he spends the next 10 minutes measuring the depth of this hole.
Yeah.
He drops a match. He takes like wire and he pushes it down to see how far it is. Like, who fucking cares, dude? Just open it up.
Yeah. If you were going to eventually get to that point, which he does.
So do it anyway.
Where he pries up the wood and then breaks through the concrete of the floor.
With a fire poker, by the way.
Ooh. It's been a while.
He uses the Kandarian dagger used to kill a Voorhees to rip the wooden panels up and then smashes the hole with a fire poker used to kill deadites.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's all good pulls.
Thank you. This is where the music bothered me the most.
Okay.
This is like a fucking jump scare. Is he lowers himself down into like the crawl space, which fine. There's a crawl space, I guess. He lowers himself down into it. And then once his head dips below the floor and into the crawl space, I'm not going to do it into the microphone. Right. I'll do it like this. But he dips his head down and it's just like, it's like, what the fuck? And it is so loud and just driving. And there's like, happening. And he's literally crawling.
Yeah.
Like, slow meandering. At one point he like there's like a web and he's like, oh fuck, and he like freaks out as this music is blaring. It just keeps
just building and building and building
for nothing,
for really nothing, because he sneaks through and it's just like secret passage after secret passage that opens up into other things.
It's like, to me, the best assumption that I could make is that secret passage leads to using that crawl space. He gets to like the center mass where, because at one point he slides a door open and he looks like a little mini door and he slides it open and he looks and he sees another long expansive crawl space. My assumption is that got him into like the heart of the building, because then he goes all the way downstairs. He opens the door and there's like a secret subterranean apartment.
Yeah, there's like, kind of a suite down there.
And it is rent controlled. No one even knows it's there.
Well, because we come to find out that the guy who built the place,
he's still alive.
Yeah.
Much like we were surprised to find out that Dario Argento is still alive.
That's a good one.
Mark is surprised to find out that Zarelli.
Yeah, Professor Arnold is then revealed to be Varelli.
Yeah, and he's got himself a sweet setup. He doesn't have to use the thing that you put on your neck,
Right.
the smokers use. I just did that because it's so funny to do.
Right.
Yeah, but he goes into the wheelchair and he takes his thing and he puts it on. He plugs it into this board. And he's like, the only way I can be heard is you. The only way that you can come to the dark side. You should do it. It's very strange that he can only be heard if he wears these little monitors on his neck and he talks into the thing like this. And it's very bizarre. And at one point, he is literally almost killed because of that.
Yeah. He tries to like attack Mark with the hypodermic needle
Filled with piss.
Yes, which then Mark has to drink out of the wound before it affects him.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get turned into a thing from Prince of Darkness because he's got piss in his blood. I'm telling you, this movie is basically Prince of Darkness.
Yeah, maybe this was a big influence on John Carpenter.
Yeah.
And so during the struggle, Varelli like falls out of his wheelchair and
is being choked to death by this apparatus. And then Mark saves him and fixes him. And two things come of this. He goes, I'm dying now. He says that.
I know.
He's like, listen, right now I'm dying. But here's the deal.
He's like, look, I saw your reaction earlier when your friend died in front of you. And it seemed to mean nothing to you. I'm a man that you do not know. We bumped into each other one time. I could not speak to you in the hall earlier. But I'm dying.
Please react.
Yeah.
I need to see
Thank you for saving my life for the brief moments I have left.
Thank you for postponing the inevitable. And like the hot dog guy did.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, what if he was there and he was telling Mark about everything?
And the hot dog guy runs in.
Smashes through a window, stabs him to death. And he turns to Mark and he's like, if you're ever about to die, don't worry. I got you. In the meantime, I sell a good beef frank. It's like, shit, dude, thanks. But yeah, this conversation leads to, other than I'm dying, it also is you're being watched.
Right.
Which is, you're like, yeah, we fucking know.
And like, as he's saying it, there's a shadow of a person on the wall behind him.
Yeah. And so I fucking hate this movie so much, dude. That's what the movie is. It's and so then and so this and that and this and that. And yeah, every movie is like that, but this is like, and then Green and then Seven and then Cupcake and then Mountain Dew. And it's all just random shit that you mash together. It's so disarming.
Right.
Because Mark sees a shadow on the wall. He goes through the door into another piece of subterranean lair filled with mirrors and a goodly woman.
Yeah.
And the goodly woman says, I'm not a magician. Then she does magic.
So that is Varelli's nurse, who we have seen a couple times before this.
Yeah. She's the one who didn't know
herself.
She didn't know what musicology is. She's like,
yeah,
music? That's stupid.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
You're a doctor? Like, well, no, it's music.
She says a couple things that I wrote down. She said, I'm not a magician, says the random mirror lady. And I wrote that down. I mentioned it earlier
because she had just disappeared and appeared in the mirror.
Right. And she has basically done the Wizard of Oz fire conjuring where the room is bursting into flames in response seemingly to her words. Then she says, I mentioned this as well, you've been looking for me just like your sister, which is confusing. This is my whole note. It's confusing because who the fuck was looking for anything? Rose, maybe, but it wasn't explained like that was her sole focus. Like that she was searching for the sisters. It's just to me that I bought a book. I thought it was interesting.
And then I think I'm living in one of these witch houses.
Right. But she's like, you and your sister have been searching for me. And it's like, well, no, pretty objectively, Mark has been searching for his sister exclusively.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then she says, I am this mother. We are the three mothers and Suspiriorum and the Tenebra. And she gives the three names. And then she goes, but men all call us the same thing. They call us. And then the mirror smashes.
Yeah.
Now, guys, don't let Derek hear this. Derek, cover your ears.
Okay. They're covered.
She smashes out of the window or out of the mirror. And she's a giant spooky skeleton.
Oh my God! There was a spooky skeleton that popped out.
You weren't supposed to listen.
Oh, I covered my ears, but I still had my headphones on.
That's the stupidest, funniest thing I've ever heard in my whole life. She smashes through the window. I was going to say windshield. That'd be interesting if all of this was taking place right outside of the car. She's in the rear view mirror of the taxi from earlier. That's why the nail's in there.
Yeah, we snap into like. We're still in the taxi ride.
Oh, God. We have to watch this again. No. Oh, at least her titties are going to get, like wet t-shirted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, guys, by the way, everybody loves cats. Everybody loves titties. Titties and kitties.
That's true.
But, she smashes through the thing and it's death. And it's a big cloaked spooky skeleton. Yeah. And then he's like, I got to get out of here. And she's like, there's no way out. And then he very easily gets out.
Yeah, he just kind of runs out. This is very, very much like the big reveal at the end of Suspiria. The reveal of the mother and then the building, things exploding and the building is burning and she's running through the hallways and he's running through the hallways in this case and escapes.
The thing that I have a problem with in this movie is that the death is literally looking at him and going, you cannot escape. There is nowhere to go. We will spend the rest of our eternities burning here and you will experience these amazing things. And he might as well in mid-sentence just be like, shut up, bitch. And then turn and he leaves. Like no obstacles, no rigidity of environment. He literally turns on his heel and runs exactly the way he came out of the building. And he turns around and he sees the whole building burn to the ground. And I'm thinking, okay, at this point we have a couple people that we need to catch up with. He has been so injured. Hopefully we see like maybe he finds his sister's remains or he gets some kind of closure. No, classic Italian movie. He turns, he sees the building on fire. Credits start rolling.
Yeah, that music cranks up again, man.
But not as loud as when he was crawling through a crawl space.
Yeah, true.
Thank God for that. We wouldn't have known that how much was at stake.
Mm-hmm. We witness death. All the building collapses down on death. What did we learn?
Honest to God, nothing.
Yeah.
It's like this because the buildings were built by a man who's obviously still alive. So they were built in the roaring 20s and they're built for these three women that together are death. So maybe like a recurring thing. That's the thing. I could sit and speculate about what they are, what the buildings represent, what it represents thematically.
But that's all you can do is speculate.
Because none of it is even really hinted at.
Right.
And that's the thing is there are people out there, because I've read a lot of Letterboxd reviews about this movie today. And a lot of people go, well, it's obviously this. No, it's not. It's obviously that to you, but it is so open to interpretation. And I do believe that there is a layer of open to interpretation that is lazy. That is not put forward enough. You need to put enough forward that your higher minded topics can be presented to a larger audience and those receptive of it will understand it. But you also have to make something for your general audience. It's a movie. You need it to convey a story with either a good ending, a good plot, a good message for your audience, something. There is nothing to gather from
characters
this.
I can root for.
I am left spiritually, emotionally and morally empty after this movie. It's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to have taken from this. Don't drown cats.
Yeah.
Don't order hot dogs.
No, you should always order hot dogs.
Yeah. If you're ever being eaten by rats, you want a goodly hot dog vendor to put you out of your misery if they're eating you alive.
Yeah. Well, so clearly you recommend this film.
Oh, big time, baby. No, I don't. I don't recommend this movie at all, which is a shame because I recommend Suspiria. What's funny is we always talk about that in these movies. Do you recommend? But that's more of just like a categorization. Like, do we, don't we?
And it's just pass fail.
Yeah, I actively recommend Suspiria to people. I tell them how good it is and that they should watch it.
Yeah.
I will tell them that, I recommend this movie so little that when I recommend Suspiria, which I will continue to do, I'll be like, oh, and yeah, by the way, there's like, it's supposed to be part of like a trilogy, and jury's out on Tenebra. Jury's out.
No, that's not part of it. Mother of Tears is the third.
And that's recent.
Yeah, recent 2007. So yeah.
Yeah, more recent than the dinosaurs.
Yes.
Yeah. But so that's what the jury's out on that. If that's good, great.
And that one I haven't seen either.
Oh shit, you're gonna have a newbie experience.
That will be a newbie experience for me.
But barring that, the conversation will go, do you recommend Suspiria to me? I am a stranger. And I will say, yes, I do. More than anything, you should watch that movie. It's great. It's really accessible, but it's also, if you really pay attention to it, there's a lot that you can take away from it, a lot of the human experience. Oh yeah, and there's a sequel, apparently, like a spiritual sequel called Inferno. Do not watch that movie. It's The Ring. It turns you into a zombie in a closet.
Oh man, that's not good. The Ring is good.
That one moment from The Ring is more impactful than the entire film Inferno.
Wow. That is it's a bold statement.
It's true.
But yeah, you're not necessarily wrong.
No, I can prove it with numbers on a whiteboard. Do you recommend Inferno? So
I like this movie more than you do.
Yeah, I figured.
Like I said, I don't love this movie. I've watched it a couple times now. I don't know if I got anything more out of it this go round than last go round. But no, I can't recommend this to, because there's different levels of things. There's sometimes where like I'll watch a movie and I watch a ton of things.
Yeah, sure.
And it's like people ask me like, oh man, what did you think of this? Should I? And it's like, I loved it. I don't think you're going to get anything out of it. Like I can't recommend it to you. And so it kind of falls into that of like, I can't recommend this to average viewers.
Sure.
Because you're going to get nothing. But then I also don't really recommend it to most like horror, like diehards. Like maybe if you were just super into Italian horror and you somehow haven't already watched this. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, other than that, it's like most people are not going to get anything out of this.
There's nothing to get.
No, it is the things that are good, the things that I enjoy. I like all the weird architecture. I think like the way that the sets are built, the way that they look, I think it's fascinating.
I love it because it's just close enough to Suspiria. The way like they're like weird light panels that separate the different doorways, and the way that the rooms are like in this really weird oblong, like oval pattern. Yeah, I like all of that. Yeah. You need to map it out better.
Yes.
You need it to make more sense.
Yes.
That's the thing that I hate so much about this movie is I'm playing a game right now called Dispatch, which is like a superhero choose your own adventure game. And it's very good. Yeah. I do recommend Dispatch.
Okay.
But in it, there's a line where the main character says, nothing on earth goes more wasted than potential. And that people will always say how much of a waste it is. And it's like, yeah, this movie has a lot of potential. There's a lot of cool ideas and a lot of cool stuff. It just fumbles the ball on every single one.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I left so frustrated is like, there are parts of this that I thought were really interesting or cool. And then there was also the cat murder and the weird fucking like the entire Sarah thing and what the book is and how easy it is to get and why it's like cursed or whatever. There's a lot wrong in something that doesn't need to be. It could be better.
Yeah. And I think that, there's a lot of weirdness and a lot of unexplained things in Suspiria. I just think that one is more interesting, more fascinating, and easier to follow. But I, just again, on things that I do find positive about this, the architecture, the lighting, everything, the way that Argento lights things is just, it's insane. The primary colors, they don't make any sense like in a realistic way. They're just there for stylistic choices.
He does shadows. Because there are moments in this movie, and this I will give, there are moments in this movie where you see a shadow in the background, and for a second it's that suspenseful, like, oh fuck. And then you realize, oh no, he's just shot this with these long, like he might as well have like a fucking car sitting there with its headlights on. Like that's how powerful these shadows are being cast. Yeah. And yeah, it's otherworldly. I love him as a creative. After this, I don't know how much I love him as a almost soul writer of something.
Right. We have a couple characters that I think the actors do a good enough job. But for the most part, it's like, I don't really care about these people, or what's going on with them.
Yeah.
And it is meandering. It is repetitive.
We complain about too many characters, too many cooks. This one is way too few characters.
Yeah, I mean, it goes both ways, I guess, because it's like some characters we don't spend enough time with or get to know in any way. It's just kind of, we need someone to show up, ask the questions, and touch the book, and then die.
Right.
Like, yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't, like, for me in most ways. It's also not one that, like, the idea sometimes of like, oh, this is a really art house film. This is I'm supposed to get, it's not so much about the plot. It's about this or that or the other thing. But it's like, I don't even get those sorts of things from this. It's just kind of like, it's not a enjoyable experience to watch.
Yeah. I think what we needed a sort of Evil Dead where you've got the recording of the doctor, the anthropologist, who's like, oh shit, do not do this. This is what has happened now, about an actual rare item. The book needed to be rare, and there needed to be proof of there is something evil about this that will kill you if you read it.
Yeah.
That shows stakes, because that's the thing. There is no plot. There are barely characters. There are no stakes at all.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. So a final question, I think, in our review. The three mothers joined together as death as it smashes out of the mirror. Well, for a moment, it's in that mirror. Now, who do you think wins in a fight in that mirror? That lady, the mother of shadows or whatever, or Candyman?
Oh.
Keeping in mind, Candyman has an ass ton of bees.
He does. I mean, given the I don't know. The bees, but are the bees going to affect Death? Death is a spooky skeleton with a cool cloak.
Okay, but bees killed Macaulay Culkin, and Macaulay Culkin fought off invaders in 2 movies back to back. One of which in New York in a tower. Holy shit. Candyman wins that. Candyman's going to kill Macaulay Culkin.
Like in real life.
Tune in next week where we discuss Candyman kills Macaulay Culkin the movie.
Thanks for tuning into the Third Channel podcast. Please, if you have the time, rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of your favorite podcast apps.
You can follow us on social media at Third Channel Podcast, and you can find me online at thatdrosenberg.
You can also reach out to us at thirdchannelpodcast@gmail.com, where we check every message we swear. Third Channel is hosted by PJ Minette
and Derek Rosenberg. Theme song and audio engineering by Fly Guy Ty.
The logo designed by Bell DeVelco.
Episode artwork by Nathan Walkington.
Keep it tuned right here to the Third Channel for all things horror. And remember, don't touch that dial.
Egg salad and eggs.